So here he is joining us in studio, Seth O'Byrne. Good to have you on the show, man.
Thank you so much.
So the Pros Pro, you did a great job on a panel about a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
I'm losing track of the time. Just a few weeks ago, you were on a panel educating not just the real estate public, but financial professionals, legal guys, I mean, B2B stuff on stage, 6 Degrees, which is a very well sought after network here in San Diego for networking. Yeah. Let's talk about the event.
Yeah, I know it was great, and I've been a big follower of CityMark's development. M2I and Fahrenheit and Doma. Being a realtor who does do quite a bit of business in downtown.
All great buildings.
All amazing buildings and really innovative projects. So for me, it's funny to think I'm 12, 13 years in the business, but I still feel like a newbie. I still get kind of giddy when I meet people that I've really respected their work for years, and so to be on that panel with everybody, but also someone who's a developer and really an urban rethinker that I've always looked up to have them on that same panel to me. I mean, I was kind of getting a little Justin Bieber, I'm meeting someone famous when I shook his hand.
Well, I did a piece on our American Dream model about a year ago, and I referenced you as the up-and-comer that's already there, right? And you continue to do big things. Last year, $92 million in production, which is amazing on the O'Byrne team. So big year for you. How's this year going so far?
Really well, yeah. It feels very much like the year that would come after a $92 million year. We've got a tremendous amount of social goodwill out there in the communities that we feel very fortunate to have. So we're selling a lot of neighbors of homes that we sold before, helping a lot of people who sold last year capitalize on the still low rates by buying properties. But we're very much not a company that ever tries to rest on our laurels. We are trying to innovate things today that hopefully we can roll out by 2017 and 2018. So we're excited to see those numbers. There's certainly a record for us, but I believe we're at the bottom of the hill, not at the top of it.
Well, you've always been trailblazing in this space, and real estate has changed dramatically. The game of just putting your house on the market and putting a sign in the front yard, it's different. We have a global marketplace now. The way that you market these properties is very different. You were the first, not one of the first to do these helicopter tours. Now, of course, like anything, imitation is the best form of flattery, but sure. You guys started doing this a while back. Now you have these aerial VIPs. Speak to that.
Yeah, it's great. And there was a kind of a small version of what we're doing currently in San Diego County that was being done in Los Angeles County, specifically in Beverly Hills. The concept behind that was really to properties that are behind gates and long driveways and difficult to see. If you go look at 2 or 3 of these homes, you don't really have a concept of how it fits into the larger network of properties. And so they began this idea in LA about 10 years ago, but we really took it and ran with it. Where we're at with it today is so much further than the original ideas of this concept. But the general concept, and I think why we got so much press behind it, is aerial VIP, Sotheby's International Realty, and the rise of San Diego all came together because we now have international buyers and buyers buying San Diego from all over the world and all over the nation. Aerial VIP allows people to get in a helicopter and with a guided tour with one of our team brokers, really understand the county on a whole. And you can do that in about 45 minutes, which is powerful.
Now, you've sold a lot of real estate this way?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, so explain how that separates from some of the stuff you see online, because there's all these things, the 3D tours that you're seeing online versus actually going and being able to take somebody, maybe even an international buyer, but someone who wants to see the landscape a little bit better. Explain how that just does a better job for really getting to know the marketplace. Yeah,
it's a guided tour that counts. That's really a difference. Just like if you were going to an art museum and you just walked through and looked at the pretty paintings as opposed to having a curator walk you through and explain the significance. It's the same thing. We're a curator of San Diego, really, in a lot of ways. And so when we get people up in the helicopter, we actually, on our iPad, and this is kind of an important part of the feature, is not only do we map out the properties, but we have already preset out. We take hours to put this thing together, even though it's 45 minutes in the air. We set out the neighborhoods we want to tackle, the price points we're focusing on, and then key features about the properties that are of interest that we're going to... It's our job to try to explain why one property on one side of the street sells for more than on the other side of the street.
Right.
You can't really tell that from the street most of the time. But when you understand that there's an unobstructable view corridor to the Pacific Ocean, or this this beautiful, beautiful, several $1 million home sits down a one-way road that is very unique or special or rare in some way. You can see that very easily from up in the air. But I think the magic comes in having us in the helicopter with our clients, carefully going over each detail, because I think there's a lot of question marks. I think we've overemphasized the importance of the internet when it comes to making large residential real estate decisions. It can paint some of the picture, but that's knowledge. There's a difference between knowledge and experience, and I think experience that the O'Byrne team has really kind of comes to a head in these helicopter tours.
How is the luxury market doing?
Very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity. Sotheby's is a very international brand. So explain that market.
Yeah, so Philip White, the CEO of Sotheby's, is constantly pushed a lot of attention towards San Diego, which we're very thankful for. And I think La Jolla in San Diego is probably one of the hotter markets. We are seeing average sales activity in luxury markets like Rancho Santa Fe and some of the larger subdivisions where you're seeing multi-acre properties. But the coastline is absolutely hot. It's extremely hot. I know you have a lot of downtown brokers that you work with here. Downtown high-end properties are selling like crazy. Bosa's Pacific Gate. I mean, it's all part of the story.
Starting at 1.4 million.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
With a yacht that the homeowners all get to share as their yacht and a fleet of luxury vehicles. I think there's a sense, it's not just, the storyline for San Diego luxury is not just a storyline of what's going on with the market or interest rates or the stock market. I think it's a conversation about San Diego becoming LA or San Diego becoming San Francisco.
Right.
And I think that's something intrinsic to our change. That is, it's not just about what's going on in the market. It's about San Diego truly becoming a place that now deserves those prices. So
yeah, and it's interesting that San Diego is one of the last emerging cities behind the two of the big cities that you just named, where we get to learn some of those lessons. But the reality is the weather's better here.
Yes.
Right. It's better topography here. Why wouldn't you want to live in San Diego? And now that the city is emerging, everything that seems to be being done from a luxury standpoint to Pacific Gate, the downtown development, it's as if those lessons are now coming in hand right now, and there's a great opportunity. It's like a land grab in the luxury market.
Yeah.
You also work on all kinds of price ranges.
Yeah.
You don't limit yourself there. And I love your social media posts where you tell the different stories of people that you're helping. I think you take a lot of pride in helping people accomplish the American dream. You actually have a couple new listings hitting the market. Share.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's several properties that we have on the market, at the beach, but there's two we were really excited about, and really for two different reasons. One of which you mentioned price point, I think is an unbelievably affordable property that we just put on the market for $550,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a very rare, it's got a large balcony over kind of the resort style pool. You're 1 block to the ocean. You're in North PB next to near La Jolla. It's kind of like this one-of-a-kind unit. The builder only built one like this. That property's on Turquoise Street, and we just put it live on the market for $550,000.
Hey, you get into PB, you're doing something right. What I love about that property is when you're talking about $500-something thousand, that's the equivalent of what you would pay for rent to rent that same house. With interest rates as low as they are right now, there's a lot of opportunities to buy a property like this that makes sense. If you've served in the military, no money down, FHA financing 3.5%. So there's a lot of opportunities, even if this stuff is confusing, and we're talking about helicopters and drones and international market, luxury real estate. Look, there are opportunities in this as well. You got another one.
I do, yeah. So this is, I kind of post passionately when I share on social media, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just an emotional guy. I love what I do. I care about it, and it gets me really fired up. And there's a building that I was involved with from the very beginning. Barrett American, a very well-respected high-end builder, built a beautiful urban infill project in Bird Rock, west of La Jolla Boulevard. Which what that means in layman terms is there's basically no major street between you and the ocean.
Okay.
All the residents just walk to the ocean to go surf or sit on the sand. And the building's called Seahaus. And it was a tremendous success because it was a mixed-use development. So you've got coffee shops and restaurants and all that stuff at the base, and then you've got these beautiful residents up top with these stunning floor plans. And we just put a top floor penthouse unit on the market for $799,000.
Wow.
Yeah, 5440 La Jolla Boulevard. And that property is exciting because you know, in our business, we're excited about everything that we have to sell, but there's some buildings and some communities that I've always just kind of attached to. And I think Seahaus is really, I think it's kind of the youthful version of what's going on in La Jolla. It's kind of a place for maybe someone in Pacific Beach that isn't really ready to buy in completely to the La Jolla lifestyle and still wants kind of that youthful experience. You find it in Seahaus. So that's why we're excited about that.
Well, Seth, I've said this about you for a long time. You have a passion for the business. You know more about the actual business than just about anybody else in it. And we're going to be having you speak on stage in May at our big event where we expect 3,000 real estate RCPs, and this is going to be the guy who's on stage. So that says something about Seth. If you want to learn more about him, any of the properties he has going on, he's got all these great videos. He's got one of the best websites in real estate. Check it out. Check out Seth's website. All right. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we got to get to the Sewing Says. This is where from the TV show or our radio show or social media, newsletter, whatever it may be, you ask your questions, we answer them. Coming up next on The American Dream.